Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. I'm your host, Jared Moon. The Garage Gym Athlete Podcast is a result of my desire to build better humans, unequivocal coaches, and autonomous athletes. I've spent the last several years obsessing over program design, nutrition, and every other way you can optimize human performance. This podcast distills the latest scientific research with what I've learned and blends it with the not-so-scientific field of mental toughness. We are here to build you into a dangerously effective athlete. If you enjoy this podcast, you can find out more about our training at garagegymathlete.com. And if you want to pursue more into the field of coaching and programming, head to endof3fitness.com. Thanks for listening. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. I'm here with Joe Courtney. What's up, Joe?
Hey.
Hey, and we have Matt Sesslin, man. How you doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
Doing great. Can't wait to dive into things, man. So we got the name, but that's all we know right now. So what do you do for a living and how do you train?
Yeah. So my living, I'm an estimator. Not everybody grows up wanting to become an estimator. I work with spreadsheets all day. So Excel is kind of my thing, and which, it's kind of fun because I know that's kind of your guys' thing too, with tracking all the metrics and everything. And I tell the government how much their buildings cost. So, yeah. Nice. And then it's kind of a stressful job. So I really look forward to coming home, and I train right after work in my little garage gym set up here.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. I think I'm the Excel guy. Joe, I don't know.
No.
Joe, not so much. Me and now Marco. I got Marco. Marco's in the weeds with me on some Excel stuff, so that's awesome, man. Well, good to know I'm in good company. So, what's your garage gym setup?
Yeah, here. Let me show you guys around here. So, most of the stuff we got secondhand. Right now, got the Rogue Echo. Ooh. That's the newest piece of equipment.
Beautiful.
That's pretty. Yeah.
I had a great rower. It was a little air rower. It broke, and then it's like, oh well, I gotta get something for cardio. So decided to go that route. I regret it every time I get on. So we got lucky off of Craigslist. Got a bunch of bumper plates. Got about 265 pounds. The squat rack, a couple barbells, a couple hex dumbbells. That air rower for $100. The guy was just moving away and had to get rid of it before tomorrow. So I was more than glad to help him out. It took both my wife and my car to go down go pick it up that night. So it's kind of a fun date night for us. Got a couple kettlebells. Got a box to go jumping on, some weight vest, and then over here I have a bench press set up and some more. Just free weights, got some like dumbbells over here. So a little bit of everything to cover the basics of what's needed, right? So
what you have that little room in there with the bench set up. Is that part of the house or part of the garage?
Yeah, so it is part of the home technically. Since the garage gym and the rack and everything took up so much space, I had to build some shelving for all my tools and some of our camping gear and things like that kind of put in the off room here. So there was some talk at one time of maybe turning it into a rental, but it's being occupied currently. So yeah.
I love it. I love these. I love hearing a garage gym athlete story where you're having to spill into other areas in your house for your equipment.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say over here, I kind of got my garage gym garden going on.
I was about to say, man, that garden looks like awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to have your beets, right?
Yeah, so are you you into gardening?
Yeah, I am. I like to play around in the dirt a little bit. It's different than what I do every day for work. So to me, it's relaxing to do that stuff. So
yeah. My wife is trying to convince me on a garden and chickens. So something I told her we don't need more living things than we already have.
You just need more acreage, which would give you a bigger garage.
Well, acreage is that's going to happen one day. I'm taking the Trampus answer, and that's my goal. So, all right. So you mentioned having the kind of a high stress job, and your garage gym kind of being relieved from that stress. But was there any other reason why you kind of decided to work out in the garage, because you really could work out anywhere, get a gym, whatever the case is.
Yeah, I got a lot of little reasons that kind of hit different aspects of life, right? So I've got kind of a stressful job. It's good to come home and kind of decompress and get some time to kind of clear my head, lift some weights. So that's a good reason. Of course, my wife, she's really pretty, and I'm hoping, she's found me funny. So I want to try to look nicer for her. So it's like, oh yeah, of course, I want to lift and build some muscle. I haven't touched a barbell in my entire life up until about 3 years ago. So, I was coming from a background where it's like, I played video games, I'd go on a hike, but that doesn't require much. But as it's kind of a video game and kind of a nerdy kid all throughout high school and everything too. So I did like the Taekwondo, karate thing for a while. My parents thought, he should probably learn how to defend himself because it's a rough world and he's 5'6" and a stick. So yeah, I mean, that's one way. I play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons actually. And, I always kind of joke like, oh, I lift weights so I can do some of the stuff my Dungeons and Dragons characters can do, because they tend to be strong Dwarven barbarians or whatnot. So when I'm in
first.
Yeah, no, you probably don't get a ton of that. But I put the weight vest on. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, this is kind of miserable and this sucks. But when I think of myself as like a dwarf running to go up a mountain to kill a dragon, it changes my perspective on things.
Yeah, gets you going. So, motivation, man.
Yeah, I like fantasy books and
See, fantasy books. I can talk about that all day.
Fantasy books.
Jared's going to leave this podcast real quick.
I'm just going to, you guys have fun.
Have you read Wheel of Time?
No, those are way too long.
Oh, come on. It's like 14 books and they're awesome.
it's like 14 books.
Yeah. Jared, I think it's like 19 days worth of audiobooks. So if you listen to
days. Wow.
Yeah. No. Yeah. They're like 35 to 40 hours each.
Wow. Yeah. I think the longest book, I've been getting into some biographies, and those can be like 34 hours or something like that. But doing that multiple times for one series, I don't know if I can handle it.
It's good. You get character development, and it's good.
Man, that's crazy. So what are some of your goals, man?
Yeah. So, for the most part, right now I'm pretty comfortable with the weights I'm able to lift and the numbers I'm kind of hitting. I wouldn't mind being faster. I know, maybe if I didn't think of myself as Gimli and, trailing behind everybody, I'd run a little bit faster. It's Lord of the Rings reference.
Oh, I got it.
Okay. So I didn't
even know.
I would get it too.
Everyone on the EO3 team would get it except for me. They always make fun of me for not knowing these things. But
it's a shame. Yeah, no, I mean, personally, right now, I wouldn't mind getting a little faster, a little harder to kill. I'm on the harder to kill track. I just finished my first go around on the official cycles, and I've really loved it. I know you always talk about simple, not easy. It's, this last week we did cake. I'm like, a little bit of jump rope, some burpees, 20 seconds of rest. That's easy. 10 minutes later, gasping for air. I'm like, oh gosh, that was a good workout. So, no, it's really fun. I've really enjoyed that style of training, and, just kind of want to maintain where I'm at and maybe get a little bit faster overall. So.
Awesome, man. And so you mentioned not picking up a barbell until 3 years ago. So was there any fitness in your life pre 3 years ago?
I mean, the occasional hike and stuff, but not, I didn't go running. No, I was just I was actually building a chicken coop in our backyard, and I saw a photo of myself, and I'm like, geez, like I've been like enjoying craft beer and soft serve a little too much. And it was like really embarrassing because I was like, I was like in my late 20s at that point. I'm 33 now. I'm just like, man, what the heck happened? Like I used to be thin, and I had like my metabolism was catching up and not, being sediment with my work life and everything. It just made me realize like, I need to get a hold of this before it gets out of hand and, I'm out of shape. So, And I hated running, so I wasn't going to go that route. And now, and then I was listening to like the Art of Manliness podcast. You were actually featured on it and being interviewed about garage gyms. I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. It sounds up my alley. And that's when I think you were halfway through your first year of Murph on that one. So no, it was a really great time to kind of come in, and it gave me, somebody that had no information, no knowledge of what a barbell was or how to move it. It definitely made it a lot easier to get into that realm of fitness, and it's a lot more interesting to me than some of the other sports because, I don't have to necessarily leave, go to a gym or join a team, or go to a gym where I don't know how to do anything and then get stuck with a bunch of people taking videos and then on one of those blooper reels on YouTube or whatnot. So,
well, I would love to hear your perspective then in coming into Garage Gym Athlete. You mentioned 3 years ago touching a barbell. So like jumping into our training, how did you feel about it at first?
Yeah, at first, some of the movements kind of like they were a little bit more challenging just because I was coming from not, you tell me, over under grip or hook grips. It's like, well, I don't know the difference between the grips. So there's a lot of YouTubing at first that do form checks and make sure I'm doing things correctly. So that took a little learning. But as far as it goes, like I've done a number of Spartan races now. I've started back in 2016. So I've done about 3 a year for since then. So that a lot of that's just body weight stuff. If you can do a pull up, it's not hard. You grab a bar and you put your chin over it. And if you can't do that, then you jump until you do. And kind of lower yourself down. And so coming in, while not knowing much, you guys helped really educate me on just the methods and why you do things the way you do them, and how you don't train high intensity every day, and the importance of having a rest day and not just loading yourself up tons of volume, getting hurt, not recovering, and just kind of get stuck in that rut. Because and it also helps because it removes the aspect of me having to figure it out. Because if I'm making, like at first, I started my own workout routines and I would do all the movements I know how to do and I liked to do. I'm never going to program dips. I'm never going to do burpees. I'm never going to choose the stuff that's more challenging and that would make me more well-rounded. So having that and coming into the community that way has been a huge asset to kind of move forward with this.
That's awesome, man. Mm-hmm. Now, how do you like training in your garage?
I love it. It's one of my favorite things. I normally start right after work. Right now with the whole virus thing going around, we're working from home, and I have the opportunity to start earlier or do it during lunch. But I'd rather keep the same time. I just kind of like that time of day. I can fully decompress from work. It's easy. It's just like, I park the car right in the front of the driveway, roll up the door, roll up the equipment, get it all set up for the day. The app makes it easy. I don't have to pre-think about what I'm going to do. But it's neat because as I'm doing things, my son's out here. He's 5. His name's Judah. And so I have I don't know if I showed it. I don't think I showed it to you earlier, but I have a large rock in our front yard. With that, I was on a trail run right behind our old workplace. So I ran by and I saw this really cool round rock, right? I'm like, oh, I should take that home because I don't need to buy an Atlas stone if I do it. So it was about half a mile from where I parked, from work. So I would pick it up, carry it, 50 meters, drop it, and keep moving it a little bit each day, closer and closer to the car. And so now when I go pick up my rock to move it around the yard and do load and carry, my son has a little rock that he keeps next to it or near it, and he'll do it with Dad. So that's really fun. I really enjoy having him jump on my back, during push-ups. That's always fun, having a live moving object on you. But, awesome. It's neat. He just rides his bike around. It gets him time to be outside and kind of play with Daddy. And I'd rather, take a little bit longer on some of the cool downs afterwards, or, chase him around the yard as part of the cool down. To me, that's one of the best things about working out from home.
And for anyone listening, so that rock he just showed us is like almost a perfect Atlas stone. Like I don't know if I've ever seen one like that in nature before. That's pretty awesome, man. How much do you think that thing weighs?
It weighs 128 pounds.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Dude,
I knew it was heavy, but I didn't know it was that heavy. I'm like, it's probably like, 75, 80 pounds. See, I'm not even a very good estimator. So
I've done some workouts where like I just run out into the forest and like lift a rock. Like, if I'm like traveling workouts or whatever. So I know how deceptive rocks can be. You're like,
oh yeah,
that one looks good. And you're like, can't even move this one. Okay.
Holy
Let's do this one. And so that's cool, man. That's a really awesome find.
Yeah. No, it was just in the brush off to the side. I kind of stopped, did a double take, and like walked around it. I'm like, that's a nice round rock. I'm taking that home. So, yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. Hey, so if you ever need free gym equipment or just on a tighter budget, go find a nice log, find a rock. I mean, nature's got plenty of stuff out there. So
that's a good place to get started. Good advice too, man. So what is the hardest workout you've ever done?
Oh, man, I think out of all of them, the meet yourself Saturdays are tough, but I think Murph is still one of the most challenging for me because I know I can always go faster. You can always do those air squats a little quicker. You can do your pull-ups in bigger sets. I mean, it's definitely the most challenging workout for me. And definitely, I tend to do it, middle of the day in the heat too, which is not the best idea sometimes, but oh well, you do it when you can, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably the most challenging. Event-wise, we did a Big Bear Beast, which Big Bear's a local like ski mountain area in Southern California. And man, that was a nightmare. It was a half marathon, which in the Spartan means it's 15 miles, which you guys are probably familiar with.
Yeah.
It's like that's not a 10K. That's not a half marathon. And you start at 7,100 feet, then you run up to it's like 8,200 feet, and then it's not even switchbacks. It's just straight up, straight down, straight. I thought you get to the top, run a ridge line for a few miles and come back down. And that wasn't the case. And that was one of the most grueling events I've ever done. So
that's awesome. That's what they do, right? They just make it. Whoever measures distance is really bad at it on purpose, and then up and down, they find whatever elevation they can, which shouldn't be a problem at Big Bear, and then they make you run up and down it several times.
Oh yeah.
When I was in San Diego, I thought about doing the Big Bear one, and I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, that's it's pretty bad. It's fun. I mean, halfway through you'll meet yourself, that's for sure. All
right, in your opinion, what's the best activity for building mental toughness?
Ooh, it's one of the good questions. I really there's so many ways to answer it, right? Like I've heard kids before, which is true. I think for me, the biggest thing is being open to criticism, or just like taking like a position of humility, because there's so many things in life where you are certain you're right, but you're maybe not right. Or there's things that you don't need to hear or you don't want to hear, but you still like have to process and have to go through. And it might mean that you have to change something, right? So for example, like I know if I'm a Christian and come from that like kind of background. So like my kid, I know I can be real irritable sometimes and impatient. And like when my wife mentions like, hey, you need to be a little more patient with them and stuff like that. Like I know it's something that's like hard. I have every reason in the world, right, to say why I'm justified in doing what I'm doing. But at the same time, like learning to stop and like consider what's being said and then weighing that out, it's hard. Whenever you put yourself out there, like even the community, if you're taking a form check video and you're posting it in the Facebook group or whatnot, like there's always going to be some really good insights. There's a million different opinions, and this guy follows this guy follows that guy. But at the same time, like you need to be able to be willing to put yourself out there to take that criticism so that you can improve and become better. Because like a grueling workout, you can grind and get things done, but for me, the mental toughness really comes in when you're facing something that you know that you need help on or that you need work in, and then asking others to help you come with that. Because if you're we all know what it's like to be around that guy that's super proud, and you can't give him any type of critiques or advice because he knows it all. So to me, that was definitely the thing that I think is going to help build mental toughness overall.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's an awesome answer too, man. I think that challenges us all to, if we have an idea challenged or even to ask for help, it's tough for a lot of people. I think that's a great way to push you outside of your mental comfort zone every day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you could only have one piece of equipment to train with for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, I can always find a rock.
Clearly.
And, a kettlebell is just a rock with a handle, so I don't think I'd say kettlebell. I really do think the barbell. I've enjoyed barbell training the most, and it's just so much fun. You get a heavy weight on your back, or you're doing a heavy deadlift, it bends a little bit. Those are just good. It gives me the best feelings. After you get it up and you get that big old smile, and you put it back down, and the next thing you know, you're just seeing stars a couple seconds later because you get that blood rush to your head. And you're like, oh, that was heavy. So I'd have to say barbell for sure, because I know that comes with some plates. So,
yep.
Very nice.
Yeah.
If you could add something to your gym, no matter what would it be, or no matter what the price, what would that be?
So being 5'6", I'm definitely built for rowing. Yeah, no, I'm short and stumpy, but I wouldn't mind another rower again. When we had it in the past, and it was raining, it's like my favorite times with it. Maybe this is why I broke. I'd have it outside and it'd be rowing in the rain. It's like, man, nothing makes you feel more like a Viking than doing that. So,
wait, did you say the rower would be outside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's just, you can put a bag over the control, the monitor and stuff. So, but then again, I broke that rower. So,
I mean, maybe it has something to do. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. But train like a Viking. I mean, you don't always get to do that. So,
well, please get another rower and a Viking helm, and let's get some video of you rowing in the rain.
Oh, yeah. No shirt on, loincloth. We're jump off at the end and get in a shield wall and have some carnage.
There you go.
I mean, there are a lot of garage gym athletes out there listening to this right now. What would your best advice for them be?
Have fun. The thing that's great about working on a garage, you are competing against yourself. If a guy that weighs 220 and it's 6'2", it's like, yeah, he's going to deadlift more than me. That makes sense. I'm 5'6" and 160. So it's not like a competition against another person, right? It's really competing against yourself, and just try hard and give it your all and try to do better than what you did previously, and have fun while you're doing it. If it means sitting on the rower thinking that you're a Viking, or lifting heavy weights and pretending that it's a work body that is thrown over a wall or whatever. Just have fun with it. You don't have to make it super serious all the time. So sign up, do hard things, sign up for a trail race. What's the worst thing that happens? Do a few burpees. It's not that bad. So, yeah.
Tear a hamstring. No big deal.
Yeah.
Well, it's a flesh wound.
It only, yeah. Awesome, Matt. Well, I appreciate your time today and for sharing your, garage gym athlete experience with us, man. I really appreciate it. So thanks again for your time and for being a part of the community. Cool.
Thank you. And I appreciate all the work that you guys do, Jared and Joe, the pro gaming and just the thoughtfulness that goes into it, the briefing videos, all the app makes things super easy to do. And I mean, I really appreciate the work. I know the other athletes appreciate the work you guys put into this as well. So
thanks for listening to the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. If you want to learn more, go to garagegymathlete.com. You can learn about our training. Let us send you a copy of our book, The Garage Gym Athlete, or you can even get featured on the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. Thanks for listening.